How's my hair?
This is Anathea, your evolutionary astrology and divine feminine educator, and I'm here with Miss Jada Fire. We go back many years, I'll tell you, but what we're here in this video to do is give you some astrological and oracle insights, what's going on right now and how we can support you in this crazy, wild, zany world and all the transformation that's going on. So, Miss Jada Fire, welcome. Thanks for being here. This is exciting to be able to come back on YouTube together and share. I do want to let everyone know our history a little bit because we got together in 2003. She was this wild woman that I took, it was at a yoga studio. I was teaching yoga and she would teach a dance class. And so she was this wild woman that would teach dance, and I took the dance class. And then we eventually opened a studio together. And this was a yoga studio in Las Vegas, across the freeway from the Luxor Hotel in this big, like, warehouse. And Miss Jada, if I can, what was so unique about the yoga studio that we had in there that typical yoga studios don't have in there?
Oh my. Yeah, it was very, I feel like it was 2003.
It was 2003 because the opening of it was when my mom passed, remember?
Yes, I do. So yeah, I remember the phone used to ring and people would say, "Where is Studio Open?" And we'd say, "We're magically aligned with the Luxor Pyramid." Directly across the strip. We had some fun there. And I think what was great about that space, it was very grassroots and underground. And the way we built it was
Yeah,
with the passion of word of mouth, and
yeah.
just so many beautiful spirit seekers came together at the time, and still so close with some of these individuals all these years later. And you and I have stayed in touch and ebbed and flowed from holding that studio together. And it was very eclectic. It was definitely a blend of yoga and dance.
It's
And
crazy.
like circus arts, right? There was aerial, there were Cirque du Soleil artists that came in and trained and practiced there. We had showcases and fire dances and yoga classes, and
Big
it was a
mirror, a
wild,
wooden floor. It was just amazing.
it was a really good time. So
Yeah.
yeah, we got to do that together, and now we're in different countries, but we still chime in online and share insights through the oracles that we are attuned to. So, yeah, today we're going to share a little bit on some oracle wisdom coming in for today and the times, and some astrological
Well,
news.
it's going to be what I really want to talk about is Three Eye Atlas again and give a um, greater understanding of what the heck. Because when you were talking to
Tell
me,
us.
it was like, what am I supposed to do about Three Eye Atlas? Because it's astronomy and it's science. It's not so much astrology.
Okay, so tell
But
us,
the
tell us
Libra,
what this is.
should I go into it right
Yeah,
now? Go
go
ahead,
right
go
into
into
it.
it.
Tell
Okay.
us, because this seems to be alive for you.
This
Like very
is what's alive for me now also, but I have two other big things that are alive for me as well, which is, but I can talk about those later. But this Three Eye Atlas is huge. And I'm going to give you guys some specific dates for it. But basically, Jada was saying, well, you gave me that science, that geophysicist, and I listened to it, but it's kind of like, well, what am I supposed to do with that? And I want to give you what you're supposed to do with that to awaken your spirituality, to broaden your horizons, and who knows, this thing could come and go and have a zero effect. But imagine there's a lake and the lake has activity, but it's pretty fairly calm. There's things going on. There's fish swimming in it and stuff like that. But this is the lake is the solar system. Okay. And then there's this interstellar object, massive, extremely fast. It's the third one that's ever been recorded in the history of man, right? The two others were 2017 and 2019, and they're not as big. They're not as fast. This one's barreling through. And so it's going to basically come in, it's going to go through Mars, be parallel or conjunct with the sun, and the Earth's over here. And then it's going to exit and it's going to get close to Venus, and then it's going to exit out through Jupiter. And so, but just alone on its energy and how it's interacting with the sun, and the sun causing solar flares, all this photonic energy. I don't have the exact science of it, but it's just logical to me that this is higher consciousness energy that's coming through, overcoming the solar system's gravitational pull, and is able to navigate through our solar system and out and touching specific planets, not touching, but getting close to specific planets, namely Mars, the masculine, Venus, the feminine, the sun, the center, the king, and Jupiter, the good luck charm, the wisdom keeper. So this is very symbolic for me for that. But the other thing that I just want to simply say, it's like a boat barreling through this relatively calm lake, and it's leaving a wake of consciousness in its path. And so what I want to do is promote this idea of people being aware of it, because it's all about raising our consciousness and raising our awareness and waking up to things that are going on that we otherwise, if we don't pay attention to it, it's not going to give us the gifts that it's offering us. And so that's why I want people to know about it, and the dates, the specific dates to pay attention. So I have, July 1st was when it was first discovered. So this is like brand new on the block, right? The one in 2017, Oumuamua, it was the name of it. They didn't catch wind of it until it was already leaving the solar system, and it was smaller, not as fast. Now, there's theories that it's aliens and all this. I don't know. But if they are, then they definitely know more than we do, right? As humans. And so this is really just allowing us to broaden our minds and say, oh, there's more than just this little place called the solar system. There's a bigger cosmos and universe out there. And what can I learn from this, So I'm going to give you the dates. July 1st is when it was first discovered, and it's coming from what they extrapolated is that it is coming from Sagittarius, the galactic center. I think that's the middle of the Milky Way, right? The center of the Milky Way. And my Jupiter is directly outside the galactic center. And the galactic center is holds wisdom, is the center of our galaxy. So it's coming from there, outside of our solar system. It was discovered or looked at July 21st by the Hubble telescope, and then August 6th by the James Webb telescope. And then on October the 3rd, so October is going to be a big month. October the 3rd, it's going to be closest to Mars. Okay. Then from October the 20th through the 31st, it's going to be closest to the sun. Then on November the 3rd, it's going to be closest to Venus. And then on December the 19th, it's going to be closest to Earth as it's starting to leave. And then there's some other stuff that I can mention, but I want to make it real simple. March the 16th is when it's going to be closest to Jupiter and then leaving our solar system. So it comes in, it touches the masculine, the feminine, the earth, the sun, and then it goes to Jupiter and says, good luck, you guys. I just gave you a whole big splash of consciousness. I hope you wake up. I mean, I hate to say it so rudely, but, I think we need help as humanity. I think we need to learn how to get out of our heads and be more in our hearts and balance those two energies, awaken our intuition and get rid of this us and them mentality and understand that we're really ultimately are all connected. And so I feel like 3i Atlas is just here to, and I could be completely wrong, but ride the wave of consciousness and see what you can learn through this journey and this process. October is going to be a big month, and this is all going to be gone by March 16th. However, by that time, we as humanity, the scientific community, will have been given an opportunity to observe it and see what it's made out of, whether or not it's alien, whether it's, what level of intelligence it has. They haven't even been able to measure the size of it yet, because it has a nucleus, but it has like this coma of either plasma or dust, and it's getting bigger as it's coming closer to the sun. And one geophysicist says it's half the size of the sun right now. Oh, this is the other thing I want to say. So here's the sun, and here's all the planets that are orbiting the sun, all of us, right? That's called the ecliptic, the orbital plane. Some comets come in and out like this. This one is on our orbital plane and they go counterclockwise. It's going clockwise. So it's really there to turn us around, turn our consciousness around. These are all my Pollyanna, idealistic hopes and dreams of it. But why not? Why not? We've been so disappointed with humanity since 2020 and everything that we've been through that this I think can be a positive wave to ride and see where it takes us. Be open, be intuitive, feel into your body. And the other thing is if you get tired, rest. Because this is literally all this photonic, electromagnetic, or whatever the scientific words for it are really bombarding our biological being and pushing us to not be so dense, pushing us in all senses of the word, pushing us to literally expand out the energy of our biological being and become more lighthearted, become more expanded in our consciousness. And that's a higher frequency. And that's what we're being bombarded with. And so allow yourself to breathe it in, feel into it. If you're exhausted, rest, drink lots of water, be open-minded, be open-hearted, and allow it to do its magic on you. So that's my message, Miss Jada Fire. What do you think?
Well, I think that this is a really quantum piece of information, and maybe in the notes of this recording, you can add a few links so
Yeah,
our listeners
for
can really
sure.
look into that some more. I really love your interpretation of it all. Like, I appreciate that because sometimes big energy comes in, and when it meets a chaotic world, we don't really know what to do with that. And I like your explanation. So thank you for that.
You are so welcome. You know what? You need to speak a little louder. Somehow I don't think can you hear me okay?
Microphone check.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, just I think maybe even be closer and then just a little bit louder. Because I
Okay.
think I'm a little bit louder than you. I'm
Okay.
from the loud family, but I want people to hear you. So yeah, so we're both like bright lights wanting to raise the frequency of the planet. And so that's our commonality for sure.
Yeah, we definitely chime in on frequency and vibration and anchoring the new earth through our body, our light body. So that's what I'm very passionate about and listening to is how I can work with this gift of being in the human experience in this body and illuminate and activate my light body so that we are seeding that heaven and earth axis through our being so that we are in not duality, but we are co-creating in unison. So I want to jump right into the cards. So I pulled for this morning, and I love that we're just going with the flow on this. It's just making so much sense now. The piece on miracles is out. So miracles from the Ancient Animal Wisdom Oracle deck. We have the black-shouldered kite. And what I want to say about miracles and the miracle messenger is that miracles are only miracles when we open to the consciousness that miracles are possible. And, in our life's journey, we can really get down in life when we go through big traumas and losses and deep grievance. And we've been through this. And I had to very closely look at my options of, am I going to live a life of misery or miracle? And when I consult with my guides and with God and with my beloved who's crossed and all of the ancestors who have crossed, they want us to be the way showers to bring forth the connectivity, to come together, to learn how to pray harder and deeper and be in ceremony and find that miracle and find the forgiveness and find the peace and the blessings for all, for all, for all. So I just want to speak to miracles, that miracles are out and I am embracing them. And I love the explanation that you brought on this activity. energetically that you're picking up on, it's not even astrologically, right? This is, what would you say this is?
Well, it's astrological in the fact that it's going through the plane that all the planets do, and it is touching Mars. I mean, not touching, getting close to Mars, communicating with Mars, communicating with the sun, communicating with Venus and Jupiter. So for me, there's some level of astrological
Yeah.
acknowledgement that needs to be made.
Yeah. And I love that you're so attuned to that aspect of information and knowledge, because sometimes it just doesn't feel fulfilling or in right relationship when you track the news of the media, right? So we go higher and we track the news of the stars, the seeds in the stars. So I think
Right,
where
right.
we really come together too is like, yeah, that heaven and earth grid, and working with Pachamama and the earth energy, and then the star nation, and working with
Love
these.
it.
Yeah, and that's where the balance card is out. Okay, so, and I always like to say when this card comes out, the dugong tiger, it's like the fire and the water, the yin and the yang, the masculine, the feminine, the earth and the sky, is that anything that we ever want to know about in life, that we try or we test and we're trying to track our answer, we are always going to be brought back to the balance point. That is where we are the strongest. That is where we find unity, and we lose that veil of separation, right? So I like embracing what you're sharing as a miracle and as a gift to expand the consciousness, that it's not a frightening, devastation upon humanity. It's actually an invitation to awaken consciousness. So that's beautiful. Intuition, you also touched on, and the deek deek, the baby antelope, is out with the horns.
So
And
beautiful.
yeah, and any animal that has horns are really pointing to the ability to listen and call in the intuitive messages, right, through our divine source. So, and it's also about being gentle and resting. So I like that you touched on that too, because we are needing a lot of rest as we recalibrate and we let go. We just went through, was it yesterday, was 999, right? The in the calendar of astrology, it was September 9th in 2025, a 9 year. So we just crossed 999 in the year of the serpent in the Chinese calendar. And I have yet to see what I have experienced and lived through in this year. I have never lived this in my lifetime of all my 47 years. Like this year, the serpent skin shedding and letting go of the old ways has never been so clear. And I could look at that, and a lot of us can look at that and say, well, this is the most devastating thing in the entire world. It's going to destroy us all. This energy is so dense. It's so heavy. I'll never survive. I'll never make it through. And that is a choice. And suffering is a choice. And that's where the magic messenger comes swooning back in to remind us
Love it.
that there are miracles, and to do right by this life walk, I feel, which is a huge gift to be a human in a physical body on this planet at this time. My intentions and my goals and visions are to be fully in service to love, and to allow that new light that's coming, whether it's solar or other activities illuminating our planet, to help us to activate our highest and greatest potential of love. Love is the greatest, strongest, most massive medicine that we know. um, and then I just want to share, because the honey badgers, like me. Honey badger, this is the last card I pulled for our call today. And the honey badger is about fierce, assertive energy. It's got a lot of fire in it. And so I think what inspired us to have the call today is to touch on what's really alive for us now. And the fire has always been my greatest ally. And yeah, I even had a friend a long time ago say, like, oh, you have such a great relationship with the fire. Like, what would you do if like the whole property went on fire? Like, how would you handle that? And my first response was like, well, if that's what the earth needs. And if that's what happens, then that's its own natural process. And it's like I would walk away and allow that calibration to come back in its new rhythm and its new way, right? So it's like taking something as like fearful as fire and actually saying, well, hold on, have we seen that there's purification that comes with the element and transmutation, holy release, letting go of the old world, right? And I experienced this year the 80-foot flames of a fire on my sacred temple space that just supernaturally went totally unexpectedly. And the more I look at all of it, I see the miracle and the magic more than the devastation, you know? But what I do want to say about fire is that it is an element of transmutation. So when we come into these thoughts of fear and misery and guilt and shame and doubt and these dense energies that we feel trapped in, we get to work with our fire breath. We get to work with the element of fire too. And even with the sunlight, every day I go outside and I bathe in the light, that holy fire light that comes from the sun. I pull that through my vessel and I let myself get illuminated and receive the renewal of the light of day. Like, what a gift every day that we could wake up and say, thank you for the light of day, right? So what's alive for me is one of these new offerings that's coming up. It's new and it's ancient. It's my 11th year of holding a teacher training, but it's more than a teacher training. It's expressive yoga and dance medicine, these modalities of movement where we explore the fire in our body, in our breath, and illuminating our vessel through the modalities of movement, of dance, of yoga. But it's also coming into alignment and attunement with our voice and our expression, and to anchor and embody the light codes that are coming through the sun and through the mystical realm that we live with, and then the earth and her primordial intelligence that we live with. So our body becomes a vessel to become and hold and receive wisdom, and we get to honor the body like an oracle. Like when you show up and you speak, you have an oracle of wisdom that comes through you. And when we get together on these calls, we get to share that inner oracle. And I believe we all have this wisdom inside. You know, nobody's medicine is bigger or greater or more. It's like we are all gifted this experience to be on an earth walk and to bring forth our best gifts. And we all have medicine. So anyhow, in October, I'm offering a course I'm calling Aliveness. And I'm calling it Aliveness because one of the greatest teachings I've learned this year is through death and through loss, I have really seen how important it is to wake up in our full potential and truly and fully receive the gift of life, and to transmute those numb and those dense energies that are just dead inside of us, and recalibrate and reactivate and ignite the potential that we hold in all these wisdom centers in our luminous body to feel vitality, to feel alive in our emotions. And when I say that, it's like to feel alive in our tears, in our expression, in our songs, in our shares, in our communication, in our laughter. You know, and I have noticed this year particularly, I have cried deeper and harder than I have ever in my life. And with that deep, low belly cry, I have opened up to that deep, low belly laughter as well. So it's like this expansion comes with awakenings, and I am choosing to embrace the miracle of the path and transmute fear and call in the blessings that we can all access that miracle.
Well, this is perfect timing. Your offering is absolutely perfect timing because it's like like I said, riding the wave of this higher consciousness. But with what you're going to be doing, it's basically allowing the body to awaken in a group, a guided, a guided group. So is it just October, or can you tell a little more about how to sign up or what's involved? Because I know you have an in-person part of it and then you have an online part of it.
Yeah, so there are 4 days, October 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th, that
Wow.
myself and I'm only opening this up to 11 seekers. We already have a beautiful group culminating in a lot of sweet is we have some elders coming in, like really excited, and some younger seekers. So it'll be a really beautiful circle of 11 of us. And in
Let
this,
me interrupt for just a second. That is exactly just before a three-eye atlas is going to be closest to the sun. So you're basically prepping the body to fully receive that transmission. So
that's amazing.
beautiful. You are
Well,
so
that's
intuitive.
intuitive for sure. Like it's just feeling it, right? It's like, okay, this is belonging here in the calendar year. I love that. I love that confirmation. Thank
I
you.
know.
You don't know till you know. Um, but yeah, we'll spend the 4 days, like a good 8 hour day. Um, might go a little longer. It's optional at that point. It's very nourishing. So we come together and I share a curriculum that I've written and revised over the 11 years of the actual manual of teachings of the yoga and the dance and the primordial intelligence that's like the origin of where these medicines have come from. I've lived or journeyed through 7 countries, tracking these ancient teachings from different cultures and places. And there's a crossroad of gold through all the teachings. So we tie these like tendrils, the web of teachings together. So there's a lot of sharing, there's a lot of communication, there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of tracking where the body is stuck and rigid and how we
Wow.
can work with movement and breath to wake this up. We do work with the fire. This particular journey this year, I decided to bring in the element of fire a little bit more than years prior, um, as an element to commune with and to learn how to dance with the fire in its ritual and in its sacred ways. So we will be on the land doing earth work and working with the fire, as well as eating beautiful food and talking about hands-on healing adjustments so that our body feels aligned and we can be in that sweet somatic space of tending to the body, being gentle, learning, and then integrating over the 3 months. So after the fourth day, there's like, I am your soundboard for 3 months, and I hold the space to do one-on-one oracle readings with you once a month. We have a group call. There's musical playlists. There's golden nuggets, probably some that you'll send me. We'll go to the group, and we just keep infusing the wisdom and the light body with what we need to journey into 2026.
You couldn't have picked a more perfect time for this, Miss Jada Fire. Now, yeah, I want everyone to know too a little bit more about you because, you first of all, you're a yoga teacher, but you're a yoga dance teacher. You're an amazing performance artist dancer, and an artist. So she's an Aries, and her son's in Aries, and my son is in Libra. And it's so funny. I think they're the exact degree opposing each other. So that can be competition, but it can also be admiration, admiring each other. And so she's also an artist. And so if you look behind her, I mean, you are a walking piece of art, but look at that. This is her art piece right there. The giraffe, right? Or not giraffe,
We have
zebra.
a zebra.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
there's
There's another piece of art right
eagles.
there. And then the cards that you pulled, that's a deck that you have that you created many years ago and have had. So those cards are yours, right? That you showed. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Our beautiful friend Stacy James and I illustrated, well, I illustrated, we co-created the African wisdom, ancient animal wisdom deck back in 2012. And those are the cards I pulled today. They're great tools, like divination tools to get inspiration. I pull a card every day. I pull multiple cards
Me
a day.
too.
I would sooner go to oracle decks and to having conversations with you on astrology than I would go to the news. Like, I feel like
Right.
what we as a community can help each other with is really powerful. I don't discount what's going on in the world totally, but it's just choosing. Time is precious. We have a responsibility to take care of our body and to fill our body and nourish our body with high vibrational information and knowledge.
Yeah,
It's just really
absolutely.
vital. Yeah.
That
So
sounds really powerful. And so we'll put a link for people to check it out below. We'll have a lot of links by the end of this video. We're going to have a lot of links.
for
Um,
sure.
Anything
Yeah.
else that you want to share that's because I have two more things that I want to share that are
Let's hear.
alive in me, but what else is alive in you, honey?
I think radical gratitude and and radical trust, like trusting in the divine plan of life. I've really learned this year in particular, how much control is an outdated, expired energy that we've been
Mm,
obsessed with as a culture, trying to manage and control everything everywhere. And while I respect the bones and the structure of life and the rhythm of the day and the cycle of the year, and I'm not discounting the stronghold support that we have through those systems, I just am really seeing how important it is. um, Women particularly, I think we can learn a lot through surrendering and coming into a softer, more gentle expression of the self, and that will require letting go of the control, because sometimes I've heard it shared, manifesting is playing small games. There is a divine plan, and we get to be in communion, in connection with divinity and the divine plan, and welcome that into our life. Because sometimes what we think we want, there's something so much greater that's just waiting to come in. So I'm really enjoying the process of that. Yeah, letting go of control, like trying to like obsessively steer the wheel for what I think things are supposed to be, and just by the grace of God and the goddess, like show us how good it can
just
be.
yeah, just
Right.
show up and be. Well, I didn't mention it. You said 999 or 99 2025. It's a 9 year apparently too. So this
Yes.
is an ending year, and the next year, come January, that's going to be a 1 year, so new beginnings. But also we're in the eclipse season. So September the 7th was an eclipse, a full moon eclipse, and then September the 21st we have the equinox, plus we have a new moon eclipse. And then we've got Three Eye Atlas zooming through the solar system. So there's a lot going on,
Yeah.
and it just the same old's not going to apply. And so we do have to recalibrate how we see life. And one of the things I always go back to is that life can get very mundane and
Mm.
very dense and very routine and very even, people suffer from depression. But when you can step into the magical and the mystical and see life beyond just this here, just the density of it all, then life has more meaning. It has more, it just is, just learning how to be in the present moment. Um, when you're feeling down and saying, "Oh my God, it's just magical just to be here." To be able to work those muscles and develop that skill of, because we're all in our head, too much in our head, and saying our mind is always lying to us, and so we get caught up in these cycles of humdrum and stuff like that. And so if we can backpedal that out and learn how to learn how to awaken and access the magical and the mystical and that channel, like you said, from the heaven to the earth, and we're the conduit,
Mhm.
and your training is going to help people work through any blocks and awaken that more expansive, less dense existence, because
Mm.
both of them exist,
Sure.
it's a, and astrologically, we have Saturn and Neptune all of 2025 moving in dance together in harmony between Pisces and Aries, which is the ending and beginning, And so 2025 has been kind of like, what reality plane, what, like Saturn is all about systems and structures. Neptune is all about no systems and structures. And so we have these two dancing together on the axis of endings and beginnings. So we, as a collective, do not even know if we're coming or going. And all we can really do, because the ground underneath us is just like moving, all we can really do is be present and show up. That's how I feel. And so, for example, you came to me to do this video. Here I am. I had another opportunity that came to me this morning. And so it's not about trying, the old way is trying to make something happen and go for it. That's that very masculine energy. I mean, we do need to show up and we do need to be productive in our lives, but it's more tapping into what is my spirit guiding me, or what is my soul guiding me and to do, and what are the cosmic impulses, or what is the intuitive guidance that I'm getting, and really walk the steps of that. Pay attention to that. So you get me all jazzed up, Miss Jada Fire.
Yeah, we're tracking the flow and we're tracking the miracles.
Exactly.
And I think it's yeah, we could both agree that we both hold each other accountable to that good work. Sometimes if we're having a day, we'll call each other and be like, okay, what do we want? What is it where is the flow? Where is the magic? And sometimes it just takes reframing your mind set to see and feel those things. As a matter of fact, the last thing I want to share is in my breath work a few days ago, I did a deep cycle of breathing and listening. And I said, okay, what is it now? Like, what am I here for? And the answer that came in is gather the people, teach the people how to pray, and pull them together. And I was like, okay.
All righty then.
And when I say pray, it's like I think one of my most favorite things to do is to hear everybody else's voice in prayers, right? Like we have a ceremony calling in rain. We have a water ceremony on Friday, and there's a community coming together to share prayers and to call in blessings for all the lands everywhere, right? And it's like when you start hearing the words articulated and shared through prayer, through all the different teachings, it's just like all these rivers going to one ocean. It's really,
and it magnifies and it's intentional. It's magic. It's miracles under construction. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so the word that comes up for me too is sacred, how sacred it is, how sacred our relationships are. I guess it's Lakota Indian. They say Omatakyoasin, which is all my relations, my relationship with my family, with my friends, my relationship with my home, with my pet, my relationship with my land, my garden, my relationship with my car, my relationship with my computer. It's all sacred, So.
yeah, it's a great reminder. Thank you, Miss Alethea. Well, do you have any words of wisdom to close us out today?
Well, I still have two more things
you
I
got
need
two
to
more inspirations. Bring it.
No, this is what I want people to know that I'm doing. So
Okay.
I had this one day where I was just home and just being with myself and just having a sacred day. And I then just was so inspired. And this is a book that I wrote in, let's see, 2012 to 2014. And then I came out with it 2014, Empower Yourself by Loving Your Body, The Woman's Guide to Reclaiming Yourself as Sacred. So I just basically, and this is how far I am through it, I basically opened it up, turned on the computer, went on to Zoom, recorded it, and I read a little bit of the book. So I am committed to keeping, the divine feminine, especially recently, just keeps on getting stomped down, but she will not give up and she will not die and she wants to stay alive because I can get discouraged. And so then when I read the book, I get inspired. And so I'm getting inspired. I'm reigniting the divine feminine. You'll get inspired. So I'm committed to reading this in little bit, segments. I don't know if I'm going to do short ones, long ones, whatever, but that you're only going to benefit by listening to and what it is I'll give you the overview of the book. It's we're living in transformational times. And this is about your relationship with your body. It's the next chapter is getting out of your head and being in your body. How to have a love relationship with food, how to have a love affair with your body, and how to put more love into your sexuality. So that's what I'm going to be covering with that book. So that's was the one thing. The other thing is with my whole astrology and what I'm offering, because it's has that evolution. I'm an evolutionary astrologer. I'm also a divine feminine educator, but I'm focusing a lot on the astrology. I'm focusing on Venus, which is this right here. This is a whole other educational piece. But I want to teach people how to live their astrology chart, because your astrology chart is the blueprint of your soul, what your soul came here to do. And so, I've had times when I first started learning astrology where I was doing a yoga class, and all of a sudden I see my astrology chart in my mind's eye as I'm breathing and doing yoga. So that was really profound. The other time I went to a conference, I came back from the conference, we were all just connecting and talking about astrology. And I felt like I had the cosmos inside my body. And then the other thing that I believe is that when you look at your astrology chart, that it actually activates you on a soul level. It activates your DNA, activates your soul blueprint. Even if you don't understand the symbols and the signs and where the planets are, but that's what I want to help you understand. So you don't have to become a professional astrologer, but you just by learning how to live your astrology chart, it's going to align you to this more sacred way of living, this more less mundane and more cosmic and magical and miraculous way of being and navigating through the world. And so those are the other two things that are very, very alive in me. And so that's what I wanted to share. So much
Amazing.
fun being here with you, Miss Jada Fire, and us
I
doing.
know. I'm smiling at all the magic, like that you wrote that book and the Oracle deck. And I have a book from a long time ago too that we're just still working and moving with the teachings. Like the old becomes the new again, still, right? It's so cyclical.
Yeah.
I look
As a matter
forward
of
to
fact, what was the
next.
title of your book? Because that's an interesting thing. Remember, what's the title?
Yeah, yeah. I'm wondering if I have a copy here. Woo, hold on. It's totally out of print right now, but it'll come back out.
Very
Maybe
valid. It's
now
very,
you're
yeah.
inspiring me
Yeah,
to
this one you can get on Amazon. I kept it alive, I
yeah,
make a
thanks for
lot of money
keeping it
with books.
alive because your
Yeah.
book is amazing. I love your book.
Thank you, honey.
This one's called Relinquish the Armor, 14 Ways to Illuminate Your Inner Fire.
Woo!
And I am committed to putting it online again, or for the first time. I've been underground, and so the best way to get a hold of me is to like call me.
Just old fashioned, just real
Call me.
old fashioned.
Or actually, I am on Instagram, and I do find Instagram is helpful. So you can
Well, what's your
catch me
Instagram
there.
handle? What's your Instagram?
It's wolfkin.ca. So wolf, like the animal I am, kin.ca.
Perfect.
And,
Perfect. Okay, great.
yeah, yeah, all good things. Well, we'll add that all in the notes, yeah, of this awesome. Thank you for hosting, and
Yeah, this was a lot
Anna's
of
got
fun.
lots
It's
of
always
goodies. You got
beautiful
lots of
connecting
goodies.
with you.
Always, always. Anna's got lots of goodies on her YouTube channel, and when I grow up one day, I'll have a YouTube channel too.
When you grow up, I'm still figuring out what I'm doing when I grow up. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
But we'll see you down the road. Maybe we'll capture another clip of insight when it comes in. I love that we just go organically and share.
Yeah, and I really want to encourage people to check out what Jada has as far as that body awakening. It's really the perfect timing. And Miss Jada Fire is just a really bright, bright light. And just being around her energy is always fun and illuminating, very illuminating and sensually enlivening too.
We work with the serpent, yeah, the goddess energy.
Oh
And
my God. So cute. I love it. I love you, Miss Jada Fire.
I love you too. Everybody have a blessed day and see you next time.
Okay, sounds good. Bye.